Accountability, accountability, accountability. Accountability towards the donors, accountability towards the statutory authorities, accountability towards the beneficiaries and other stakeholders. Being an NGO, you must have come across this word several times, almost daily, that you are accountable to the society at large. So, good morning friends. I am Ashis Agarwal and today I am going to discuss on what is accountability, its type and importance of accountability in the perspective of NGOs. Let's begin. What do you mean by the word accountability? Is it only restricted to maintaining proper accounts and financial statements? Is it only related to proper reporting of activities and disclosure in its annual report? No. Accountability is a broader term and has been perfectly defined in the International Journal of Advanced Scientific Research and Management that it basically refers to an organization being answerable to a third party. I repeat, it basically refers to an organization being answerable to a third party. It refers to the obligation of an individual or the organization to account for its activities, accept responsibility for them, and to disclose the results in a transparent manner. Transparency International's plain language guide refers to accountability as the concept that individuals, agencies and organizations, whether public, private or civil society, are held responsible for executing their powers properly. In recent years, we have seen that NGOs have played a very important role in the social development of the country, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, working in collaboration and shoulder to shoulder with the government and the private sector to meet their overall social aims and goals. It has become one of the most important pillars which can reach the most marginalized sector of the country and ensure their growth and development. However, with the cancellation of so many FCRA registrations in the recent past, tightening of regulations for NGOs and the rising influence in the overall socio-environmental development of the country, there arises a question regarding the accountability and transparency of the NGOs. So, to begin with, let's discuss what are the aspects of accountability. As per various experts, NGOs are usually accountable to donors, project partners, local communities and other stakeholders, and considering this, 4 aspects have been suggested by the NGO analysts and experts. Let's see what are those. So the 4 aspects of accountability are upward accountability, horizontal accountability, downward accountability and internal accountability. Let's check each of them. Upward accountability refers to the responsibility of an NGO towards being accountable to funders, donors and government institutions. The organizations need to provide the details of how effectively and with propriety the funds received have been utilized towards this specific purpose. Next comes horizontal accountability. This refers that NGOs are responsible to their project partners, peers and related organizations. The organizations should focus on developing healthy relationships, collaborative models and ensuring right partnerships with all stakeholders. Next comes downward accountability. This means that NGOs are responsible towards their beneficiaries and target audience. Since the funding is usually received for specified purposes which usually involves betterment of the lives of the beneficiaries, the NGO is completely answerable to the local community or its beneficiaries. And at last comes internal accountability. One of the most important aspects of accountability is to be answerable to their own employees and the organization's mission. The organization should maintain highest standard of governing structure and internal controls in order to be internally accountable. Coming to the importance of accountability, first and foremost, accountability ensures healthy relationships with the donors and funders. The organization having proper and well-built accountability mechanisms and internal control systems are always given preference by the donor agencies. Secondly, it ensures financial security because Proper accounting and audit enable the NGOs to ensure that the funds have been utilized with utmost propriety and efficiently. Third comes transparency, which actually goes hand in hand with accountability, because greater accountability automatically brings in greater transparency, thereby ensuring complete and authentic information about the activities carried out or projects executed are placed before all the stakeholders and for open discussions. Next come assurance for better involvement of local communities, because more accountable the organization becomes, more chances develop for communities' participation in the activities and project implementation of the organization. Another reason why accountability becomes important is building of trust factor among its stakeholders. Sixth in the line is increased employability, because if the organization have the highest standard of governing structure, the credibility and reliability of the organization increases to its optimum in the eyes of its employees, who feel safe and secure working in such NGOs. At last comes increase in effectiveness of NGOs in terms of performing activities and the kind of impact it can have on the beneficiaries. The accountability tools keep the management and the staffs in check to ensure optimum utilization of resources and efficient execution of the projects. So friends, I hope you will definitely want your organization to be accountable going forward, and for that you need to ensure that best practices, systems and procedures are in place with good governing structure, as was discussed in my video on Code of Governance for NGOs. In my next video, I will discuss the mechanisms through which you can ensure that the accountability of your organization is never questioned, but of course you need to properly implement those mechanisms and put a lot of time and effort to ensure that the house is in order. Let me also briefly tell you that being accountable to its stakeholders is not merely a task to be achieved by the NGOs. In our opinion, it is a moral and ethical responsibility of the organization to be answerable to the donors about the proper utilization of funds and its impact on the local community or beneficiaries, to the government about proper compliances and their contribution in the socio-environmental sector of the country, to the employee and peers about the best practices being followed and ethical standards being maintained, and at last but not the least, to the society at large about the larger impact that activities shall have in the lives of the beneficiaries and ensure their growth and development. That's it for today. Hope you found it relevant and interesting. Please drop your comments or queries in the comment section, or you can also mail us at the given email ID. Thank you.